What's up, guys? This is Dr. Michael Ko from MovementIQMike.com. And what I want to do is I want to be able to help you with your neck pain or shoulder pain by hitting these three areas I always hit on patients, but is actually not at the shoulder or the neck per se. All right. And the reason why I want to look at this is that if you have neck pain or shoulder pain, it's real obvious that if you have the area of pain, you want to be able to decrease the pain at the location. But the problem is, oftentimes, pain is just a site for where your brain feels the pain. But that doesn't necessarily tell you that it's the source of why you're having pain in the first place. And that could be coming from numerous different places. But if you have neck pain or shoulder pain, there's three common areas that I like to work on that I always find dysfunction in almost all those patients. So I'm going to show you those to you right now. So the first one's going to be the first rib. The first rib is going to be this tiny rib is probably about this big, and it's all the way up here, right? So if you're that person that goes, I've been working on my desk all day and I have this knot, it's so hard and it just feels like a rock, it feels like it's a bone, probably is a bone actually, right? It's oftentimes lifted upwards by postures, by shoulder people kind of hanging out with their shoulders up here, their bad posturing at the computer with their keyboard placement. So you can actually have this bone be lifted because of tight muscles coming out here called the scalenes. So almost always I find that to be dysfunctional in people with neck and shoulder pain. So how do you fix that? So what I'm going to use is I'm going to use this Thera Cane. I'm going to use the ball end right here, and you're going to push downwards because it's almost always lifted. So you want to push it downwards on people. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find that meaty part of the rib because it attaches close to the rib of the neck. You could hit it on different parts, but then there's all this other stuff in the collarbone more in the front of the first rib. And so the first rib starts here and then curls around under the collarbone and meets up here. So you can get a good grasp of it right around here. All right. So if I go to about right there, I'm going to feel around. Make sure you hit something hard, right? It's not a hard muscle. It's probably a hard ass bone. So hit that area. You're going to push downwards. All right. And then what I want you to do first is move your head side towards the cane. The idea is that if you move your head towards the cane, I said it's usually lift it upwards. So if you bring your head sideways, it actually helps drive that rib down. So you're going to help drive it down with both the cane and your head movement. All right. So it's my left side here. Then after I drive it down, holding it down to get a better stretch of that joint and also the muscle, some of the muscles attached to it. After I got it pinned down really good, then I move my head the other way. So you should get a pretty good stretch through the side of your neck, possibly, maybe the back of your head, and hang out there for about 30 seconds. Make sure you're taking some nice deep breaths while you do that, because the breathing motion will help get that rib moving better. All right, so that's a first rib. Bonus, you can also hit the second rib too. So if you just go a little bit back, like I don't know, a centimeter or so, and maybe out to the side just a tiny bit, you can probably hit another hard spot. Do the same thing. Go sideways to the right, pin it down, hold it down, get a good grasp of it, and then move sideways to the left. All right. So those are the upper ribs. Mostly the first rib is mostly dysfunctional most people, but some people it's the second rib too. Spot number two is going to be your thoracic spine and the muscles along the thoracic spine. So the longer I've been practicing, what I've noticed is that most people have a very dysfunctional thoracic spine, but most people don't really have thoracic spine pain. It usually ends up becoming dysfunctional and then drives up and causes inflammation either in the shoulder or the neck. So what I want you to do is, again, take this end of the Thera Cane. You're going to run it up along both sides of the thoracic spine, regardless of what side your pain is on your neck or your shoulder. You can do both because you want the whole thoracic spine to move better. It's not so much you just have dysfunction on this one side of the thoracic spine. Usually it's going to be the whole thing, right? So if I were to turn around, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start right here, the base of the neck, right around where my collar is, and I'm going to run it down right along the middle. So the very middle part, you have bones that stick out called the spinous process. So you want to go to the right of that for me right now, and I'm just going to run it down. It's probably about right around here, right? And I'm going to run that down a bunch of times. All right, just get an idea how my hand placement with the cane is. My hands on the bottom here, hands on top. All right, now I'm going to do that on both sides here. All right, so that would be the thoracic spine, or thoracic paraspinals to be more specific with those muscles, right? To get more motion for the thoracic spine, again, to help out with your neck and shoulder pain. The third spot is going to be The serratus anterior. So the serratus anterior is a sneaky muscle. It comes from the side of your ribs and it goes under the shoulder blade and attaches to the middle part of the inner part of the shoulder blade. All right. So you can't really get the area directly behind the shoulder blade, but you can get some of the muscles and the fibers along the side right through here. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap this guy around. I'll step back here. We'll wrap this guy around. Have my hand on top here, hand here, and I'm going to run it, getting it close to the shoulder blade, but my pressure is going to be this direction, towards the ribs. And what I'd rather do is instead of going up and down, it's hard to go up and down because you're going to meet a bunch of speed bumps, which are your ribs, because the ribs are coming out and around this way. So it's hard to go up and down. You're better off, in my opinion, you'll get a smoother mobilization if you can just run this direction. So from here, run to this direction, right? Find another spot, run direction. Again, if you find any tender spots, you want to spend a little more time there. You might even want to stop, hang out there, or just do a couple of runs around that muscle group and go around through here. So I'd say stop around mid torso and above, right? Below that, that muscle's not really there anymore. So you want to hit those three muscles. For a recap, it's going to be the first rib is actually moving a joint or moving a bone around to get more joint motion through the ribs. Number two was the thoracic paraspinals, up and down the middle of the spine. And number three was going to be the serratus anterior, which is the muscle that goes from the rib cage and goes behind the shoulder blade, but you're going to hit this area to try to get better motion through the shoulder, but also helps get the thoracic spine to move better, so it'll help out with the neck also. So try those three out. If you have any questions, go ahead and comment below. If you like this video, please like and subscribe to the channel and to this video, and I'll see you soon. Thanks.